I'm here on the border between Israel and the Gaza Strip, and I'm waiting to receive Dr. Phil for a tour of the Israeli communities that were mostly affected by the Hamas terror attack on October 7th. We want him to feel, to talk to the people, to see what really happened here so that the world will know the truth about who is Hamas and what the IDF is doing in order to destroy this organization. So let's go and meet Dr. Phil. Welcome to the Israel-Gaza border, Dr. Phil. I'm Yair Pinto, and this is My State, a program about current events, my belief in God, and my journey in the Holy Land. And behind me, that's a memorial for all those who were murdered on the 7th of October by Hamas terrorists. We are going now to Nir Oz. It's one of the Israeli kibbutzim that was mostly affected by the terror attack on October 7th. 75 people from this kibbutz were kidnapped and 38 were murdered.
The car is going to be next to us everywhere, this car. In case we need to take off, just going to go in the car and take off.
And this car is bulletproof?
Yeah, this is.
This car is bulletproof?
Yeah,
yes.
You see it like.
So we need to hightail it. This is the way to do it.
When you go to this area now, you cannot go by yourself. We have escort by the military.
Is that because of what has happened here, or is it because of the proximity to the...
Because what's happened, it is still a sensitive area.
I will tell you the major threat is that some of these terror tunnels are tens of kilometers and cross into Israel from the Gaza Strip. And we don't know if we discovered all of them or if there are some more and maybe terrorists waiting underneath somewhere and they can pop out. So that's the danger.
They could pop up in a field on this side.
That's what they did on October 7th. They just popped out behind our tanks and our units, launched RPGs and other missiles, and then at the same time opened the gates, the borders, on multiple locations.
How far did they come in?
Basically, they reached all the Israeli communities surrounding the Gaza Strip and Israeli city Sderot, more than 10 kilometers to the north. We found maps of the bases with arrows pointing each unit of the terrorists where they're supposed to go, which houses have weapons in the Israeli communities, which houses have girls that you should kidnap, who you should rape, who has dogs. And they were really prepared for this to the tiniest detail.
And they got that because they had been permitted to come in for other reasons?
Yes, you have permits for Palestinians to come and walk in Israel, for some of them, or to worship, to pray in the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and that's how they got the intelligence.
So they betrayed that trust to create maps and...
Yes. The remaining survivors of this kibbutz that we're going to are now stationed in the Dead Sea, in hotels, basically. The hotels in Israel are now filled with displaced Israelis, either from the communities surrounding the Gaza Strip or from the northern border with Israel, close to 80,000 civilians.
And the government is providing that housing for them?
Hotel rooms, food, and some money to keep going. The government is providing education for the children, and they are trying to keep all these communities together. So the hotels need each other, so at least the community will be with each other.
Right.
I'm walking now in the Israeli community of Nir Oz. This is one of the communities that Hamas terrorists attacked on the 7th of October. Hamas, this is an organization that the protesters all around the world are rooting for. Just take a look at what they did and what they stand for. This is the first time that I'm wearing my uniform after my unit was released from the Gaza Strip. We've been fighting Hamas for more than 4 months, and it feels weird to be here again. All the emotions come up, especially where I'm back at the scene of the attack of the terrorist organization on the 7th of October against the Israeli kibbutzim, the communities here. This is a very important day for me because I'm here with Dr. Phil, and the purpose is to share the truth of what has happened here with the rest of the world. In 2024, the Jewish people once again experienced a tsunami of anti-Semitism with dozens of demonstrations against us all over the world. This year, the report stated the world is witnessing the worst wave of anti-Semitic incidents since the end of World War II. And what you see all around me is an example of what anti-Semitism looks like in our days. So our second stop of the day is the Nova party, where some 3,500 Israelis were celebrating at a peace festival as Hamas terrorists came and slaughtered and murdered 364 Israelis. And they took also 40 of them as hostages. Okay, so behind me, Dr. Phil is interviewing Rafael, and she's sharing the story of what happened here at the party on October 7th. She's now showing him a picture of her boyfriend that was killed inside a bunker when Hamas terrorists entered and threw grenades.
My name is Rafaela Traceman. I'm 20 years old and I'm from Ramat Gan here in Israel. And I've been here at the Nova Festival at the 7th of October. I have two different things to deal with. The thing that I went through, like when we became 40 people in a shelter that is smaller than this one. And then they started to come inside and just go on the bodies and shoot everyone that was there, and they were just laughing and screaming.
And you saw that, you were inside.
I was under a lot of bodies just saying to my boyfriend, well, what is going on? I don't understand.
Was he with you alive? And the second thing?
And the loss of my boyfriend. It's like people say that with time, things get easier. For me, it only gets more confusing. It's like my brain is lying to me, like he's going to come back or something. So it's like
You don't grasp that
like,
he's gone.
No, he can't be.
I've seen you a lot on TV, coming here and sharing the story. And personally, I think it's very important because Israel is fighting one war, which is with tanks and bullets, and we're winning that war. But there is another war, a war of the media, of the public opinion of the world, and we can see demonstrations going on in the United States, in Canada, and other places that are basically anti-Israel and pro-Hamas demonstrations. That's what it is. And coming here today, you came also to be interviewed by Dr. Phil. So this is his first time here, and he came especially to show what happened here on the 7th of October. And I think it's just really, really special that you're here.
I feel like it's our job to explain and to tell people, because people around the world, they forgot about the 7th of October. They already have forgotten, and even if I try to forget, I can't forget. So it's like, it's very hurtful to see that the world is becoming something that it already became on the past. How can you chant for something? How can you support something like that? How can you support people invading a country and decapitating babies and killing people and burning families and coming to a festival and shooting and coming to shelters like I was and laughing and celebrating? That's why I remember about them. Celebration of what they were doing. I can't imagine how a person like that goes to sleep at night. I can't.
Hate towards the state of Israel rears its head every few generations, along with disasters inherent in us as an inseparable part of our DNA. This is the wonderful ability and resilience not only to cope and survive, but to get up from the biggest disaster and succeed in making a miracle out of it. This is what happened after the Holocaust, and this is what makes me hope that in 10 years from now, on October 7th in 2033, we will look back on the past decade and realize that out of this huge rupture, we began to write the next chapter of the State of Israel. So welcome to the TBN Israel studios in Jerusalem. As you can see, there's lots of action going on, people setting up lights, cameras, crew getting ready. We have very special guests here today. We have Matt and Lori Crouch and Dr. Phil. It's really encouraging to know that we are not alone and we have supporters that believe in the same God and believe in the same values and stand against terrorism in this world. How are you feeling after interviews with families of hostages, interview with the Israeli Prime Minister, and in general, the reason for this visit?
Well, it's two very different parts of the day, I can tell you for sure, because sitting down with the families of the hostages, very heavy. And listening to them and the suffering that they're going through is just almost overwhelming. I mean, they're suffering so much, just not knowing. And on the one hand, it's not knowing what's happening. And on the other hand, it's knowing some of what's happening, that there's suffering going on. It's just so hard for them right now. And you feel that weight, you feel that burden. So that's part of the day. And then sitting down with the Prime Minister is really very uplifting in a sense, because he is a very clarion voice for what the mission is. And his eye is on the goal, and he is leading this country in a life or death struggle. I mean, he truly believes, and I think he's right, that this battle is one that must be won. So there's not a noose around Israel's proverbial neck by others seeing what they can get away with. He feels very strongly about it, and I feel his resolve, I feel his commitment, and I'm uplifted by the fact that despite what the media says, he's going to such tremendous efforts to try to minimize civilian casualties. I think his heart's in the right place. I think his resolve is in the right place, and I'm very uplifted by talking to him, and I was honored to sit down with him.
Well, thank you so much for this interview and for coming here to Israel with us to stand with the people of Israel.
Believe me, it's my honor to be here, and I'm overwhelmed by the setting and the history that's here, and it's great to be of service.
And I tell you as a personal note, from a soldier who served in this war till recently, we felt alone, but you come in here and millions of people around the world, many Christians and others that are praying for us, it makes us feel like we're not alone and there is good in this world.
Well, believe me, we are behind you 100%, and you're fighting not just for Israel, but for everybody in the West, and we appreciate it, and thank you for your service.
So thank you so much.
God bless you.
So it's great to have you, Matt and Lori, here in Israel. Could you please share just why did you come to Israel at this time, and what's the importance of coming with Dr. Phil?
We want the truth out, and this gave us an opportunity to be here when Dr. Phil McGraw and his new channel called Merit Street in America is going to be able to be this channel that presents the truth. We have been here enough. I've been coming here since the 70s. I've been here 150 times.
And
My
counting.
parents have met with every prime minister from Menachem Begin all the way through. We are feeling like we understand the story, and it feels like sometimes Israel doesn't get their story out correctly.
Yeah. Definitely.
We're here to help tell your story and tell the truth.
Really appreciate that, and I think the key here is that people will know what's happening so that they will know how to pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Totally. And we've watched you almost every day on TBN through this whole thing.
Everyone
Had
knows
to come
Yair
check up
now.
on you, make sure you were okay.
Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TBN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TBN Israel here in Jerusalem. TBN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TBN Israel today online at tbn.org/Israel. Thank you.